Okay, so
Uh,
let's dive in. If you're listening, you probably know this feeling, right? This kind of fundamental human conflict.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
We absolutely know what's good for us in the long run. Saving money, exercising, focusing on that big project.
The rational brain gets it.
But then, the alarm goes off or the cookie jar calls, and somehow that immediate thing, that quick hit, it just wins out almost every time.
It really does. And look, the sources we're digging into today, they pull from behavioral science, psychology.
Uh-huh.
They suggest it's maybe not a personal failing, not a lack of willpower.
More like a system bug.
Kind of, yeah, like a design flaw in how we're wired.
I like that frame, a design flaw. Because if it's a design, maybe we can, well, redesign it, or at least find a workaround.
That's the mission for this deep dive. How do we tweak things, design our actions so our brain, which is totally geared for right now, actually picks the harder, better long-term choice over the easy, fast, feels good now choice?
Right, so the big question is, why? Why is that immediate thing just so much more powerful than the promise of something better later?
Well, it boils down to how the brain decides what's important. Just knowing something isn't enough, is it? Like, washing your hands is good.
Sure.
But that knowledge doesn't always translate into doing it consistently. The brain relies more on almost like a sensory memory system. Anything that gives immediate comfort or pleasure or even just a tiny sense of win, it gets flagged.
Flagged how?
Like a big mental note saying, that felt good, do that again. It's a very basic, powerful command.
So we're basically programmed to chase the immediate feel-good. We're biased towards now.
Exactly. That's the core idea behind something called time and consistency. It's a psychological principle. We just automatically overvalue rewards that are right in front of us and massively discount rewards that are, way off in the future.
Makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint, I
Yeah.
guess.
Totally. Think about our ancestors. Immediate threats, immediate opportunities. Eat the berry now, hide from the predator now, sleep now. Survival depended on prioritizing immediate well-being.
And things like saving for retirement 40 years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't compute for the ancient brain.
Not naturally, no. It's a direct clash. Our modern goals often require delaying gratification in a way our basic programming isn't really built for.
So yeah, maybe my struggle with the savings account isn't a character flaw after all. It's just ancient brain versus modern finance.
Precisely. Which means we need to somehow trick that ancient brain, make the long-term thing feel good now.
How do we do that?
Well, this leads to one of the honestly most surprising examples from the research. It involves public health and soap.
Soap. Okay, tell me about the scented soap paradox. That sounds intriguing.
Right. So researchers did this public health project. They gave out free soap in communities where infectious diseases were a big problem.
And I assume it helped.
Oh, yeah, initially.
Yep.
Illnesses dropped significantly. Kids got sick less often. That part was expected.
But there's a twist.
The real insight came years later. They stopped the free soap distribution, but people kept washing their hands thoroughly. The habit stuck.
Okay, why? What was different?
It was the kind of soap. They didn't use some boring clinical stuff. They gave out soap that was like really foamy, nicely scented, almost luxurious feeling.
Ah, so it felt good to use.
Exactly. The foam, the nice smell. Those things aren't strictly necessary for killing germs, right? But they provided an immediate pleasure signal.
Okay.
Think about it. Hand washing is usually just a quick, functional chore. You don't really notice it. But if it ends with this nice feeling, clean, fragrant, maybe seeing those satisfying bubbles, your brain registers that.
It's that little do-it-again flag we talked about.
Precisely. The sensory feedback made the boring task intrinsically rewarding. It wasn't just about long-term health. It felt good right then.
That clicks. It's like minty toothpaste or gum, isn't it? It's not just about clean teeth. It's that cool, fresh tingle, that immediate sensation.
Yes. Exactly that. Tiny little micro pleasures that drive the behavior. That's the absolute key takeaway. If you want a habit to stick, you have to engineer some kind of immediate satisfaction, a sensory plus sign.
Right. So pure willpower is, well, usually not enough. It just can't fight that instant gratification loop effectively. We know the first few rules of habit building make it obvious, attractive, easy. Those help you get started.
Uh-huh. They lower the barrier to entry.
But the sources we looked at really hammer home this fourth rule. Make it satisfying. That's the one that makes it last.
That's the core of immediate reinforcement. You have to change how the action feels at the end. Shift it from something you should do intellectually into something you actually kind of want to do because there's a little reward baked in.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's get practical. We've got this sort of toolkit idea, right? Toolkit A is all about adding that immediate pleasure. 5 ways to make good habits satisfying.
Let's break it down.
Number 1 builds right off the soap idea. The sensory cue.
Mm.
The mitt foam scent check, as you called it.
Yeah. Add a specific pleasant sensory thing directly to the habit. Maybe it's using a really nice yoga mat just for your morning stretch, or that great smelling hand cream only after you finish clearing your emails.
Or like a really nice pen and journal. So ticking off your task feels substantial, like a mini ceremony.
Yes. That satisfying physical check mark. It seems small, but that little sensory moment connects the action to a feeling of accomplishment. It registers.
Okay, beyond just pure sensation. Tool number 2, temptation bundling. This sounds interesting.
This one's clever. You pair something you want to do with something you need to do, so you only allow yourself to watch your favorite guilty pleasure show while you're on the exercise bike.
Or listen to that podcast you love only while you're doing chores.
Exactly. You link the necessary habit with an immediate dose of something enjoyable.
But wait, doesn't that risk making the fun thing feel like a chore too? Like, will I start dreading my favorite show because it means I have to exercise?
That's a really common question, and a fair one. But the research suggests something interesting happens. Because you only get the reward, the show, in that specific context exercise, your brain starts to associate the start of the exercise not with dread, but with the anticipation of the reward.
So instead of, ugh, treadmill time, it's more like, ooh, time for my show.
Pretty much. The motivation flips from pushing through the chore to accessing the treat. The value proposition changes.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Tool number 3, micro, non-financial rewards. Little treats.
Yeah, but the key here is non-financial and immediate. And it shouldn't undermine the habit itself. So if your goal is eating healthy, rewarding yourself with a donut probably isn't the way to go.
Right. Kind of defeats the purpose.
But maybe it's 5 minutes of listening to music with your eyes closed after finishing a tough work block. Or a nice warm shower right after your workout. Or even just stepping outside for fresh air for 2 minutes. Something that feels like a small, immediate comfort or release right after the effort.
Rewarding the effort with a moment of ease. Okay, now we've talked sensations, pairings. What about seeing progress? Number 4 is display progress.
Humans love seeing progress. We need to make the invisible visible. So use a habit tracker where you get to physically cross off the day, or an app with a cool animation, like a circle closing when you complete your goal.
And the visual, yes, done feeling.
Exactly. That visual confirmation is a quick, satisfying hit. It makes the progress feel real right now.
And the last one for making habits stick, number 5, feels a bit deeper. The closing ritual and identity affirmation.
Yeah, this taps into our need for self-consistency. Don't just, finish your run and immediately check your phone. Take 30 seconds, maybe a deep breath, a little stretch, acknowledge the effort.
And then the affirmation.
And then say something simple to yourself like, I'm the kind of person who follows through, or I keep promises to myself. That little moment of acknowledging your own integrity, that feeling, it's actually a really potent, immediate reward. You're casting a vote for the person you want to be.
Okay, so that's Toolkit A for building good habits. Now we need the flip side. How do we stop the bad ones? You mentioned needing immediate aversion.
Right. If immediate pleasure makes us repeat things, immediate discomfort, even mild discomfort, makes us avoid them. We need to attach a little bit of ouch right when the bad habit happens or is about to happen.
Like that example you mentioned, the person dealing with a narcissist.
Exactly. By acting deliberately dull and boring, she made the interaction itself immediately unrewarding, even slightly punishing, for the narcissist who thrives on attention. So the narcissist just drifted away, avoided the interaction.
Because it didn't provide the usual reward. What gets punished gets avoided.
Simple principle. What is sensory punished is avoided. What is sensory rewarded is repeated.
Okay, Toolkit B then. 5 ways to attach that immediate discomfort. First one sounds different. The goal account fund. It's not a penalty.
It's kind of the inverse, and it's quite clever. Instead of punishing failure, you reward success in avoiding the bad habit immediately. So you set up a special account, maybe call it Dream Vacation Fund, and every single time you successfully avoid the bad habit, say, you cook at home, instead of getting takeout, you immediately transfer a set amount, maybe $10, into that fund.
But cooking is still effortful. There's still discomfort there. How does this work?
But you're immediately counteracting that effort discomfort with a different kind of immediate satisfaction. You see that dream vacation fund balance instantly go up, that visual confirmation, that swoosh of money moving towards your goal. That's a dopamine hit that can be stronger than the temporary hassle of cooking.
You're using immediate reward to fight the urge for a different immediate reward. Takeout. That's smart. Weaponizing instant gratification against itself.
Pretty much. Okay, number 2 is more straightforward. The friction switch.
Making the bad habit harder to do.
Exactly. Add steps. Increase the effort needed. So maybe you take the batteries out of the remote and keep them in another room. Or you log out of social media apps every single time you use them. Put the junk food on a really high shelf you need a stepladder for.
Just that little bit of hassle.
That little pause, that friction, it gives your rational brain a moment to catch up and say, wait, do I really want to do this? It breaks the automatic impulse.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Third, social commitment. This sounds potentially awkward?
It can be, but that's why it works. You introduce an immediate social cost or penalty. Tell a friend, hey, if I catch myself doom scrolling for more than 20 minutes straight, I owe you $5 instantly. Venmo right away.
Ouch. That immediate sting of losing money and having to admit it.
Exactly. It makes the cost of the bad habit immediate and a little bit painful, socially or financially. Much more effective than just vaguely promising yourself you'll do better tomorrow.
Okay, number 4 leverages a different kind of pain. The micro-consequence inventory. What's that?
This is about making the future consequences feel immediate. When you feel the urge for the bad habit, maybe it's buying something online you don't need, you stop. And you force yourself to immediately write down just 3 quick lines about the real near-term consequences.
Not like, I'll be broke someday, but more specific.
Yes, like, if I buy this now, I won't have money for a specific thing I want this month. Or, doing this means I'll feel guilty anxious tonight. You focus on the impact this month, this week, today.
That forces a moment of uncomfortable honesty right then and there. That's the ouch.
Precisely. That little jolt of cognitive dissonance, that twinge, can be enough to derail the impulse. It grounds you in the immediate, slightly unpleasant reality.
Okay, and the last one, number 5 for stopping bad habits. Immediate substitution.
This acknowledges the brain is seeking something immediately, so you give it a different, healthier outlet. Craving something sweet, immediately chew super minty gum or drink ice-cold lemon water. You get a strong sensory hit, just a different one.
Or feeling the urge to mindlessly scroll.
Get up and walk around for just 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Take 10 deep breaths. You're redirecting that restless energy, that need for some kind of immediate action or sensation into something neutral or positive.
So we've got the tools, the engineering, for both starting good habits and stopping bad ones. If we actually manage to do this consistently, what's the bigger picture? You mentioned it shifts towards identity.
Yeah, that's really the ultimate goal. It's not just about ticking boxes or forcing behaviors. Over time, using these techniques makes the habit part of who you are. You stop thinking, I'm trying to be a person who saves money, and start feeling, I am a person who saves money.
You don't wait for the giant milestone. The identity shifts with the small, consistent actions.
Exactly. The sources use this great analogy, the voting analogy.
Okay.
Every time you successfully complete the good habit and give yourself that little immediate reward, the check mark, the mental yes, the transfer to the savings fund, you're casting a vote for that new identity.
A vote for, I am a healthy person. A vote for, I am a focused writer.
Precisely. And enough votes, enough of those reinforcing experiences, and the identity starts to feel real. It becomes self-sustaining.
So motivation might get you started.
But it's that identity built on the foundation of immediately satisfying actions that keeps you going long term. It all comes back to engineering that immediate outcome, pleasure for the good stuff, friction or mild discomfort for the bad stuff.
It feels like we've boiled it down to 2 really fundamental rules then. What gets rewarded right away gets repeated. And what gets punished or made difficult right away gets avoided.
That's the essence of it. The secret to playing the long game isn't some superhuman willpower. It's just clever engineering of the immediate present, making sure the right path also feels, in some small way, good now.
You make the long road feel like the road you actually want to be on, moment by moment.
You got it. You stop fighting your own brain's wiring and start working with its desire for that immediate feedback.
Okay, so let's leave our listeners with something to really think about. A provocative thought, considering everything we've discussed. Think about just one small habit you struggle with. Could be tiny, leaving, looking at your phone first thing in the morning, skipping that quick stretch, eating that snack you know you'll regret. Just one.
Okay.
Now, how could you redesign just the last 30 seconds of that situation? Either doing the good habit or successfully avoiding the bad one. How can you guarantee a tiny, immediate, positive feeling right at the end of that action?
That little closing ceremony.
Yeah. Maybe it's a specific song snippet you play. Maybe it's marking a big X on a calendar. Maybe it's just saying yes out loud.
Hmm.
Find that tiny reward
Yeah.
because that's where the real leverage is. That's where lasting change starts.